Welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and guys, please like and subscribe. If you do like what you're listening to, please inform your friends and family. It is a very imperative time we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. Now, guys, please spread these videos on social media. Because basically finances is something that we have to get to understand, because we understand that this is nothing but a game. It's all rigged. It is printing free money, so we shouldn't have to pay taxes. We shouldn't have to pay any bills if they can print money off the printing press. But first, I want to thank those who donated to the Cash App, Patreon. Also, of course, Patreon and Cash App people, I definitely got something big for you this weekend. And also, I want to thank those who've purchased the book, Cryptoteacher and NWO book. Now, guys, of course, we want to get into Bitcoin cryptos first. Of course, right now we're flat. We did take an uptake along with the stock market, took an uptake, and now, of course, we're getting back flat. As you can see, the Fed. Now, the video I did yesterday, I said something was going on, and next thing you know, boom, they said they're going to be buying individual bonds. So, guys, they're just going to be handing money to these corporations. That's all it is. That's why they say individual bonds. It's just handing it to these individual corporations that they want to succeed. So those who've read my book know that I've already advised that the corporations are going to become your government, because the corporations actually pay for your politician to get in office. Nothing but lobbying. But the fact is, guys, getting back to crypto now, Bitcoin is, like I said, Bitcoin and cryptos are a little flat. We saw Xrp try to close a little gap a little bit. So there's, like I said, XRP stable coins, those are your indicators, and of course volume. Now Bach ends tomorrow, so of course we're going to start getting that uptake, and you'll start seeing the stock market get uptake. Guys, they're telling you right now that they're going to be buying everything. Now basically Korea is going to be looking at doing that digital currency, but as we know, Korea was already doing crypto with their gaming. We have China, of course, it's saying Pan-Asian. Basically, they're just grouping all the Asian countries together, and they're going to be using their Belt and Road with their crypto. Now, what is the end game for the Fed, guys? So why are they buying up buying up everything? Of course, they want to be the final and last resort of borrowing, and lending. So the fact is that basically what they must do is to get us over to blockchain and digital currencies. Because yes, everybody's looking at it that the dollar is going to crash. The dollar is going to crash. It's going to be over for the dollar. Guys, if you move it over to digital, all they have to do is hit the enter button, and they can create poof, a trillion out of thin air. So that's why they must distract the people. COVID, distract the people. What did Jerome Powell say? Once the C word is under control, then we'll have the markets under control. So the C word is nothing but a distraction. George Floyd, the protests, all this is a distraction to get people off of what? Their money. As long as you're into gossip and sports and Democrat and Republican divide and conquer, things that don't matter, they can always, behind the scenes, steal the money. And that's what they're doing. You're going out working hard, even though a lot of people are sitting at home, relaxing just like they are. But a lot of us are still working hard, trying to provide for your families. But the fact is that basically they're moving the money. So guys, that's why on this channel here, that's the reason why I created my channel. You have a lot of people that talk about consciousness, a lot of people talk about money, but they don't combine it to the two, so therefore you have a clear understanding of what's going on. So the Fed opened up 11 new facilities, guys. Just sending money out everywhere. 11 new facilities. First of all, buying corporate bonds is illegal anyway. Fed is not supposed to be able to do that. They didn't even go through Congress to do that. Now, if you go back to 2008, there was a crisis article that the Fed did that they put in place. And that's what they're doing right now, is they're putting all this in place. But the fact is that basically by them doing corporate bonds and putting all this money out there, they're creating zombie companies. You know, bankrupt companies, JCPenney, Hertz. They're all going to benefit off of this. It's easy to come back when money is free. Now, we see stocks rising and what? People out of work. So, guys, we know the game is rigged. That's why I tell you, stay focused on your money so therefore we can easily make this money. Stocks are going to go up. Don't get scared. That's the reason why Kramer came out and said, oh, the veteran stockholders are going to take advantage of these Robinhood investors. No, these Robinhood guys are going to be making money. You don't even have to have experience right now because the game is rigged. You just have to understand greed is going to kill you. Get your profits and run. Day trade, get your profits and run. These airline stocks, cruise line stocks, get the profits and run. And just like I said this weekend, I'm going to be going in deeper detail with that. But basically with unemployment benefits, you have more people getting unemployment benefits than are actually unemployed. So of course with these part-time jobs though, they're not making any money, so they should be getting unemployment. But the fact is the $600 is going to end in July. And they're talking about giving a $400 bonus, $400 to $600 bonus for going back to work. Now getting over to more of the corporate stocks. Now we have Walmart going to be removing all the cashiers testing in the stores. So guys, we know where this is headed. I've already told you the cryptos is for automation. They want humanity out of the picture. So guys, we know the end game. I teach you this end game. Walmart is going to be getting rid of the cashiers. Now guys, we had a big outage yesterday. That outage was not for any reason. They're getting these 5G, these satellites, these frequencies together. You had T-Mobile, Fortnite, Instagram, Comcast, right? All of them had outages. And that's not for no reason, guys. And we know that all of them are not on the same system unless they're trying to get all of them on the same system. Think about it. Now, of course, China warns UK, don't stop here. And we all know that it's going to build up World War III. You're going to see more of that. And then also, guys, DocuSign, one of the stocks that definitely is going to be rising. Of course, because everybody's sitting at home. How you going to sign your real estate documents and all that? Go through DocuSign. But guys, that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the book, Cryptoteacher. Also the NWO book. Don't forget about the cryptos, Bitrue, Binance, Coinbase. And then also your stocks, your chip stocks. They keep going up. Even though they're expensive, keep going up in this market. Nothing's real. Your banking, never get a bet against the banks. You know gaming is going to be big. Your Cobalt. Also, since everybody's sitting at home, don't forget about those stocks. Also the C word, the biotech stocks. And then of course, because everybody's sitting at home getting free money for right now, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and y'all have a wonderful day.
Here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman as we turn to look in more detail at two of Donald Trump's cabinet picks, Steven Mnuchin for Treasury Secretary and Wilbur Ross for Commerce Secretary. Mnuchin has deep ties to Wall Street, including working as a partner for Goldman Sachs, where his father also worked. Mnuchin's hedge fund also played a role in the housing crisis after it scooped up the failing California bank IndyMac in 2008. Under Mnuchin's ownership, IndyMac foreclosed on 36,000 families, particularly elderly residents trapped in reverse mortgages. Mnuchin was accused of running a foreclosure machine. People protested outside his home. The bank, which was renamed One West, was also accused of racially discriminatory lending practices. In 2015, Mnuchin sold the bank for $3.4 billion, $1.8 billion more than he bought it for. Trump's Commerce Secretary pick, Wilbur Ross, is a billionaire private equity investor. Ross specializes in flipping bankrupt companies for profit, often buying the U.S. companies at low prices, then selling them to overseas investors. He and his companies have sometimes shipped jobs and factories overseas, practices Donald Trump has railed against. He, too, had a role in the foreclosure crisis. In 2007, Wilbur Ross bought the second-largest servicer of subprime loans in America, a company called American Home Mortgage Servicing. To talk more about Mnuchin and Ross, we're joined by David Dayen, author of the award-winning book Chain of Title, How Three Ordinary Americans Uncovered Wall Street's Great Foreclosure Fraud. His most recent piece for The Nation, Wilbur Ross and Steve Mnuchin, Profiteers of the Great Foreclosure Machine, Go to Washington. So talk about the significance of this, David. Talk about who Mnuchin and Ross are.
Right. So they are both, I call them profiteers because they, like most banks and mortgage servicing companies, just profited from the lack of attention to the foreclosure crisis at the federal level. Mnuchin foreclosed on 36,000 people in California alone. He foreclosed on much more through One West Bank, where he was CEO, and Wilbur Ross, through American Home Mortgage Servicing, which eventually became a company called Ocwen, also did so, and they did so illegally. These were fraudulent foreclosures where fake documents were used to prop up those foreclosures. There are depositions with individuals from One West Bank saying that they spent 30 seconds looking at foreclosure files before signing affidavits that said that they knew everything in that file and reviewed all the business practices. There were forged documents routinely from Wilbur Ross's American Home Mortgage Servicing. They were done by a third-party company known as DocX, where the CEO of that company actually is in prison right now, went to prison for 5 years for forging millions of mortgage assignments to be used as evidence in court cases all over the country. So these were very normal practices, but it's very ironic that the Obama administration kind of lost track and didn't pay attention to this crisis that was going on. And now, after Trump's election, he brings in two people who profited almost the most from that to help run his cabinet.
And what does it mean to be head of Treasury and Commerce? How does that relate to what their history is around the issue of foreclosure?
Well, certainly the Treasury Department is a regulatory position now. Steven Mnuchin will be the head of the Financial Stability Oversight Council, which is a super regulator that monitors systemic risk. There was a lot of systemic risk from the financial crisis and the foreclosure crisis, and he can kind of shut it down. Steven Mnuchin has said that he will seek to privatize Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, where 9 out of 10 mortgages are owned or guaranteed right now. That's going to be a huge windfall for the hedge funds that bought Fannie and Freddie stock at a low point at $1 a share. If that's spun out and privatized, it would be $30 to $40 a share. Incidentally, one of the biggest benefactors of that would be John Paulson, who was a business partner to Steven Mnuchin in the One West deal. So, through deregulation, through just a lack of attention to these matters, Steven Mnuchin is going to have a lot of control. Wilbur Ross may be less so at the Commerce Department, but still, you're talking about Donald Trump's closest advisors, and it's very likely they're going to take their eyes off the ball with respect to the practices of the mortgage industry.
Well, David Dayen, I want to thank you for being with us, author of the award-winning book, Chain of Title, How 3 Ordinary Americans Uncovered Wall Street's Great Foreclosure Fraud. We will link to your piece in The Nation. And we turn now to our